Hans Temisto, FightHype.com, here with Brad, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
No complaints at all, man. Down here in Philly, enjoying myself. So, it's official. Well, kind of official. Caleb Plant's supposed to be taking on David Benavidez. Both guys saying they signed on the dotted line. Supposed to be in like March or April. Is that what you're kind of hearing in terms of the date?
Yeah. Yep.
How excited are you about the fight, man?
Real excited, get this opportunity against a great fighter, get to prove yourself, I'm really excited about the opportunity, man. I can't wait.
In general, just from your view, what do you think are some of the holes in Benavidez's game plan? Well, game overall, man.
You know what? Every fighter has like flaws or tendencies. One or the other. So he's a tremendous fighter. I'm not gonna sit up here and pick him apart because anybody could be picked apart. You know what I mean? You could look at tape of Roy Jones or Sugar Ray Leonard or Sugar Ray Robinson and say, well, he do this or he do that. It's up to your job. It's your job to exploit it. So it's not so much what he does wrong. It's Caleb has to exploit some of the tendencies that he has, but I'm not gonna pick the guy apart. He's 26-0 for a reason. He can fight. He's real good.
Gotta ask you, what exactly were you guys kind of working on for that Anthony Durrell fight? We just actually voted on Boxing Scene for like KO of the year, and that's the one that I voted for. So what's some of the things that you guys were working on, man?
I could talk about that fight because it's done. A lot of times, like Kronk fighters, they try to line guys up for their right hand. You know what I mean? So we was making sure that Caleb was offline for the right hand. That was one thing we worked on. Another thing we worked on was keeping our emotions in check because I knew it was bad blood going into the fight. Fight focused, don't fight mad. Another thing we worked on was changing the tempo of our attack. So sometimes when you see guys punch, they punch in like a cadence, like bop, bop, bop. So we was working on changing the cadence, like bop, 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 bop. We was changing the cadence. If you notice, he knocked him out. He hit him with a hook. It was like bop, bop. So pause. It wasn't bop, bop. It was bop, bop. So we worked on changing the cadence. We worked on just grinding harder. You know what I mean? Like in that camp, we grinded harder. The sparring was hard. It was world-class guys. It really wasn't sparring partners. It was world-class guys. It was 2-3 of them at a time. It was real work, to get him prepared for that because I knew Anthony was going to be in shape, and I got a lot of respect for his trainer. And about maybe camp started beginning of August. Camp started a little bit slow because Caleb hadn't really sparred since the Canelo fight. But once we got around like the third week of September, I was like, damn. I was a little bit scared because he was peeking out crazy. And the same thing he did to Anthony, he did that to a couple of sparring partners. I'm talking about cold, one shot. I was like, man. So it's my job to kind of keep the peak going so we can get to the fight. I was actually a little bit nervous because it was my first camp with him, and I couldn't believe how high he had peaked. Because I'm being honest, he didn't start out that great in camp. He was a little bit rusty. The first 2-3 weeks of sparring, he was a little bit rusty. But once he started rolling, he really, really rolled. He was it was really impressive to see him go from here to here in that camp. But the main things we was working on was staying off line from Durrell's right hand, not fighting mad, and changing the tempo of your attack. Even if you are a real talented fighter, if you attack the same way at the same time, guys their bodies kind of become adjusted to that. And you ever see a guy hit a guy with a big shot early in the fight, right? And then late in the fight hit him with the same shot, and the guy able to take it. That's because your nervous system is prepared for how the guy is going to attack. But if you change up the rhythm of your attack, it kind of have more of a shocking effect. And that was a devastating shot. And I'm not going to say we worked exactly on that combination, like he's going to knock him out exactly with that. But the tempo in which he did it, that's what threw Anthony off more so than the actual punch, because it didn't come at a normal tempo. It came at a different kind of a cadence, and you get hit like that with a shot you don't see, you get your lights turned out. You know what I mean? That's a real shot.
Normally he punches on the move a lot before you. He kind of was sitting down on the shots in that particular fight. Is that something that you put?
He was doing both, but I don't like. He's still a boxer. Like we not trying to turn him into no knockout puncher. He's just a guy that just happened to be able to punch that people say can't punch. So I just let people say what they want. All punches hurt. You get in that boxing ring, somebody punching you in your face that's the same size as you, that's in shape. Anybody can hurt anybody. You know, it's about hitting guys in vulnerable spots with shots that they don't see. You know, so he's still a boxer. And believe it or not, punching on the move is not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Being able to punch on the move means that the person got to defend you while he's tracking you down. You know how hard that is to defend yourself while you moving towards somebody or moving away from them and they punching you? So a lot of guys, when they box, what they do is they move, they stop, then they punch. Where Caleb got the ability to punch while he's moving. Now, he was sitting down on his punches more, and that's come from changing your looks, so you don't do the same thing over and over again. So he's just evolving as a fighter, you know. But there's nothing wrong with punching on the move. See, sometimes people take that as an insult, like he don't sit down on these shots. Bro, it's hard to defend shots while the guy is moving and you going after him. So there's nothing wrong with it. You just got to just add different layers to your game and be able to do more than one thing in the ring. And I'm just telling you, he just much more explosive than people realize. You know, a lot of times knockouts is your temperament. It's not so much of your ability to punch. Because he like a pure boxer, because he's a defensive fighter, he hasn't always went for the knockouts or put himself in position. But that don't mean they can't punch. Some guys are attacking fighters and they got more of a violent attitude, so they may get more knockouts. But you don't really know who the puncher is in a fight till two guys line up. You know, he's very explosive, you know what I mean? And he can't hurt you if he hits you right.
I know you're not looking for the knockout, but how confident are you that you could get a similar result against Benavidez, man?
I'm confident that Caleb could knock anybody out if he hit him clean, he hit him the right way. In this fight, obviously, you don't look for something like that, because if you look for it, you don't find it. And this fight is just a guy that we're just looking to win the fight. And however way the win comes, it comes. If Benavidez come in a certain kind of way, then he can get clipped. But listen, he can clip Caleb. It's a fight. You know, like I see them saying disrespectful stuff about Caleb. I don't look at Benavidez like that. I look at Benavidez as a great fighter. I got total healthy respect for him. Like, I think he's a hell of a fighter, and I know that we got our work cut out for us. You know what I mean? He's a heck of a fighter, man. If my guy wasn't fighting him, like before my guy fought him, he was a guy that I looked at like, damn, this boy can fight. You know what I mean? So I don't get into that stuff. I got healthy respect for the guy. He can go.
David and Jose have been pushing the narrative that Caleb was avoiding him, Caleb was ducking him, and that he was forced to take this fight.
That's not true. That's a lie. He didn't have to take the fight. Why? Why did he have to take the fight? They can't give you no tangible proof that he had to take this fight. Why? There's other guys he could fight. I mean, nobody has to take any fight. What are you talking about? It's not like he's the champion and Caleb is the champion, right? And he's just mandatory, and he's saying, no, I don't want to fight him, and he gives up his belts. Why do you have to take the fight? That's just something that people are just saying, but it's just not true. Caleb just took the fight because he believed he can win. He took the fight because that's what he want to fight, you know? Like, it's just silly, like, to think that. Neither one, listen, let me say this. I'm not getting into how much they make, okay? Neither one of them's getting a king ransom to take the fight. Both guys deserve props to take the fight. They taking this fight for a lot less money than the other guys get to take fights that they be like 8-9-1 favorites to fight. These guys ain't getting $10 million to take this fight. It just ain't like, they ain't making a king's ransom. So it's just silly. Like, everybody wants somebody to be scared of them. Caleb a different kind of dude because he don't act all tough and crazy like that. People think that he's soft and he's a punk, but he wanted this fight. He told me after the fight, I'm going to fight Jamal Charlo or David Benavidez next, one or the other. That's what he told me, and he lived up to his word. So, like, it's just, like, both young men deserve props for taking this fight. Trust me, he didn't have to take this fight.